All right, Ambush, and today we are joined by two members of a psychedelic, funky group out of Toronto who have been making a big waves, making a whole lot of noise. And when I say a whole lot of noise, they've already put two albums, a EP and an upcoming EP in the last 2 years alone. My goodness, and the sounds, they're even better. They're even better than that work ethic. And of course, we are joined here today by Jay and Mikhail of a group entitled Lammping. How's it going today, Jay and Mikhail?
Good. Thanks for putting this on.
All right.
Appreciate it.
No worries. I appreciate having both of you here today. And like I mentioned, you guys have been doing quite a bit in the last 2 years. So of course, the first thing that I would like to kick things off with is exactly how did you two connect? Mikhail, do you want to start us off here?
Yeah. So we've both been playing in Toronto with various bands. We were playing in our respective bands at the time. Jay actually played in a bunch of bands. I was playing in this one band called Guitar. That's not a joke name. That was the name of the band. And we played a show together, and I just really love Jay's drumming. You know, I'm always on the lookout for it. You know, sounds that I like, styles that I like, all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, man, this guy, something about his drumming, about the energy, about the way he stays in the pocket. I just really loved it. You know, there's not a lot of drummers that I see that in. So we just chopped it up after the show. I introduced myself to him, and we became friends. And we talked about music for a while. And then at one point, I'm like, why don't we do something together? Why don't we do a project together? And Jay was down, and you know, I think it took us like maybe 3-4 years to actually put something together. But once we did, we just started working. And yeah, it's basically how it happened.
Okay, so this has been a little bit of a time that this project has been building for then.
Yeah, like it just, the ideas part of it took a while. And, you know, he helped me record some stuff that I was doing with my solo project. But as far as like Lammping proper, we only really began in like, I would say 2019, maybe late 2019. And then by February 2020, we already had like our first deal with the Sony Records. So it just started happening quick. And then that summer we put out our first LP, and I was like, this is good. People like the stuff. Let's just keep going. And that's where the work rate is. It's just kind of, there's an opportunity to make some cool stuff. Why not do it while we have the time?
Absolutely. All right. So Mikhail actually just mentioned, Jay, that you were helping him with recording some of his own solo projects. And of course, in the last 2 years, it's been a little difficult to get into the studio to maybe get a full band together to record. So did you have quite a big hand in sort of putting all of these sounds together? Did you guys go somewhere else? What was the recording process been like for some of these albums, these EPs here, Jay?
Well, I mean, this is kind of more, Mikhail could probably fill in the blanks of basically the way we've worked as a band has been like different than I guess a lot of other bands, because we wanted to be a band. We were excited to be a band. We played a show, we were all ready, and then COVID hit. So we had to figure out how to be a band not being a band. But it's worked out kind of amazing for us. I feel like the way we work, and again, I probably Mikhail can, because he's more on the other side of like recording it, but we have a lot of ideas, and it really works that we can put them in a blender. And because of the way it was fragmented, it didn't mess up our work rate at all. If anything, it was more of a focus to do more. I think maybe if we had been doing shows and playing and you know, on that thing, we probably wouldn't have been working as fast, just because the pause, I think, allowed it to produce more material. And for us, I feel like we work really well in that kind of thing. Like, I don't think this band ever has any shortage of ideas, and there's a real kind of like, you know, throw spaghetti against the wall. Like, you know, like they tell you in school, like there's no bad idea. But I think that idea that really works in this band. Like, if it doesn't work, you can just erase it, or it's not, you know. But like, and also with one of our members, Matt Aldred, like he's writing songs. So I think, and you know, and there's some, Mikhail is like, I would say the, you know, obviously the main contributor and a huge part of that pie. But you know, some things I was doing is, you know, I really loved hip hop and samples, and I would find stuff, send it to Mikhail. It's like you send somebody an ingredient, and then a cake comes back, and you were like, oh, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting it to taste like that. It tastes better than I thought it would. And then Matt Aldred has been writing ideas. So I think the cool thing is that even though there's a principal purpose in song, you know, structure, songwriter with Mikhail, I think everybody gets to throw it in. So again, back to your point, having no shows that allowed us to actually kind of explore more of that road, where maybe we would have just been like writing, like jam out a song, record it, play in a space, make sure it's live. This idea, we were just like, we were performing to the, and like we were recording. Sorry, my point being, we were performing to the machines. Like that was our audience. And then we put us up. I don't know, Mikhail, does that make sense? Is that?
Yeah, that's basically it. You know, in terms of like logistics of how it comes together, you know, I have some song ideas. Jay has some song ideas. Matt has some song ideas. And, you know, we usually send each other maybe like a little demo. And then either I or Matt will build on top of it in their home studio. And then I usually mix the final product together. But yeah, having like two home studios, essentially, like me having one and Matt having one, it allows us to do most of the stuff in the songs ourselves. And then once that's kind of done, fully done, then we get Jay on board and he lays the drum tracks down. But that we have to go to like a separate studio for, because I really think the drum sound is so important to our band that, you know, it's not as easy recording drums in my experience as it is recording like vocals and guitars and organs and stuff. So we rent out a studio and we do just a day of drums. And then, yeah, and that's basically how we've done it this pandemic. I would imagine if you're a band that's very focused on recording at a particular studio outside of your house, this was a rough time in terms of the creative process. For us, it actually kind of sped things up, like Jay said.
Gave you some more extra time at home, gave you, like you mentioned, with the studios at home, you can get those ideas, the ingredients, as Jay put it, together so that the mad chef there, the mixer, can put it all together, bake that cake, and put some nice lyrics on top of it.
You got it. Yeah.
Hey, all right. And of course, we're here today to talk about an upcoming EP here. So, of course, I want to say with the Stars We Lost, is that pretty much the exact way that it all came together? The ingredients were put down and then you just basically mixed it together there?
Stars We Lost. It came together in a creative sense. It came together that way. But in terms of the logistics of this album even coming out, Jay is, was acquainted. I think he might have even been friends with Eric, who runs the label that we're putting it out on.
Mm-hmm.
And we've always, been interested in doing something with that label. And we always knew that that Eric was into the band. But we were just like, okay, if he wants to do a record one day, let's do a record. And thankfully, he was interested, and he hit us up, and was like, "Do you guys want to do something?" And we had some song ideas. Like Jay said, they're always around. We're always passing stuff to each other. And this was an opportunity that I thought was cool to do a little EP for his label, and that's basically how it came together. I think maybe like 5 months ago. Jay, when did the whole thing start?
Yeah, I think Eric is Warner, who's someone I've known. I don't know, almost 20. I've known him for about almost 20 years. We mutually knew each other. Obviously, when he was really young, he was promoting a lot of shows in Toronto. And I'm talking like 16, 17. And he was kind of like a wonder kid, just a scene guy. And he kind of focused more into doing a label. He hit me up. He just was like, when the first album came out, and he's like, I really like what you guys are doing. And from there, it just kind of spawned, all right, maybe we'll work together. So I think he reached out, I want to say in maybe April, and by June or July, we had agreed that we were going to do this. It's kind of a cool thing too, because when Mikhail and I were talking about the band, it was weirdly we had kind of manifested wouldn't it be cool to just put stuff out all the time? And I've always been a fan, even though I don't think we're like any of these bands or like the scene, but stylistically, but a lot of punk and garage bands, what I've always really loved is that the output is just continuous. They'll put out an album, a single, and they'll do it all on different labels. They'll do 2 or 7 inches. They'll just do things to do them. And for me, all the bands I've been in, obviously they're amazing. That has never been a work rate that has ever been factored in kind of thing. So it's kind of funny, even before we started, one thing we always were was that'd be amazing if we could put out stuff all the time. And weirdly, it's just happened that we haven't actually, it hasn't been by design. It's just it's been working out that this thing we wanted to do of continuously putting out good stuff has happened. So it's been kind of nice. So yeah, so that's how it went down. And Eric was like, I'd love to do an EP. And it was kind of almost in a weird way, I made to order, dear labels, we'll give you a record. Just contact us. We'll make it for you. I like that though. It was kind of here's okay, this is what I want. Do it and give it back. It's it's kind of neat being in a band where it's just you're not we wrote a bunch of songs in the space and then we go road test them and then we come back and record them, which is amazing. It's great. I think there's anything wrong with that. It's just cool that we're doing it in kind of a different way. So yeah, thanks a lot to Eric, and it's amazing working with him, and he's been really awesome and just super easy to work with. And it's cool to be on a label like that where it's Eric's tastes are that whole label, and that's what a good label should be, because he's just reissuing stuff and putting out new stuff, and it's this kind of amazing splatter shot of you get to see someone's taste as a label, which I think all labels should be in a way, But anyways,
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I love how you put it there too, where it's sort of the process changed. So maybe it almost made things a little bit new again after you guys have been working inside of the music industry for so long, right?
Yeah, I think every band and every project is a different, every relationship you're in is different. It has a different dynamic, different set of, so every, I think, project you're in, it's the same thing. Some things they work this way. Some things it just naturally, that's the best way they should work. I don't know. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. I don't think there's any rules. There shouldn't be any rules. That's why music is fun.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Absolutely. And like you mentioned, it's why not be able to release one album on one label and go elsewhere and do your own thing. And one thing that I love about this whole process of doing your own thing is the fact that you guys, no matter where you released the music, is you've also sort of made sure to just do exactly that. You sort of had vinyl with every release that you've done so far, which I really love. So Mikhail, is that sort of something that the band focused on as you wanted to make this sort of thing, or is it just that opportunity has always arose?
I think part of it so far has been that when we originally, had our first record finished, we didn't really have anybody on board, and I just sent it to a few labels that, I thought would be interested. And the labels that I sent it to primarily were like psych rock and stoner rock labels. And that genre, from what I understand, it's like vinyl is a big deal within that niche market. So it's not like we particularly, sought it out. I mean, I was a DJ, in my teens and stuff. So vinyl was always a big part of my life. So it's really cool. I really like that we have a physical product. But it's not something that we necessarily sought out. But to be honest, is just now it's like part of our whole thing, part of our, we're always going to have records. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, we're happy with that. And I think we're going to keep going with the vinyl thing. I don't think we're going to like put an album out that's not going to be on vinyl. You know what I mean?
Hey. Well, I'm look forward to adding some of those to my own collection, because as soon as I saw that that's what you guys had, I was like, ooh, I'm in that stoner rock crowd, so I understand the importance of vinyl inside of that scene. So
Perfect.
Very nice. All right, and of course we've been talking about this upcoming EP, and we have had one taste of it so far with a single entitled Everlasting Moor. So of course I want to dive into this single, sort of what it means to the group, what you were trying to capture. So of course, with Mikhail being the chief lyricist, I would love to know, first most, what energy were you trying to capture inside of this track?
I think the energy of the song is it's the music part of it. The lyrics are not necessarily something that is I wanted to like have an energy in the lyrics, but the music brought out the lyrics. So it's a frantic kind of song. Noise, suicide, like these types of comps have been made for the song. I see some of that, but it's like once the song hits, once the main riff starts after the intro, it's just like it just keeps going, and the stream of consciousness type lyrics that I put on it, I think reflect that motion of the song. I just wanted to, I wanted for the sound of it and for the lyrics of it to just go from the beginning to the end. Yeah, so that's it. Just kind of, none of the stuff that we do is really that strategic in terms of the songwriting. Like Jay said, we just have a bunch of ingredients and then stuff kind of comes out of it. And the same thing with this song. You know what I mean? I just started on this little riff. I recorded it. And then one night, I didn't have lyrics for it for a long time. And then one night, as soon as the first line hit, the whole song hit.
Okay. And then, so for that first line, you're talking about somebody like that boom bap, somebody dancing type of thing, breaking it down. So is this something that you actually like? What inspired that first line then?
Yeah, so I live near this parquet, and I take my daughter there. She's like 2.5, so I take her there to go on the swing and stuff. And we went there in the afternoon, and there's like a little gazebo part of the parquet, And there was just a guy with a little boombox by himself at like, 1 p.m., nobody around. And he's just breakdancing, like pop and lock into this instrumental that he's blasting on this boombox. And it's just, I never saw, like, it's just a cool image, you know what I mean? And where I live right now, like we're in the north of Toronto, so we're not even downtown like we used to be. So it's really like there's nobody around. You know what I mean? There's a few houses here and there, but it's pretty deserted. So to have some guy who made a conscious decision to like lug a boombox from wherever he was living to this little parquet and then just kill it in this gazebo, I was like, okay, I gotta start a song with this, Yeah, so that was something that really sparked it off. Yeah.
Oh, that's dedication, right? You could have just went and danced in your kitchen, your living room, but nah, man, this gazebo's the spot. I don't care who's there, what's going on. This is my vibe.
That's right.
I love it, and I love the vibe of the song as well. And of course, you mentioned it as the feel's kind of hectic, and I love how it starts with that intro and then sort of picks up and goes into that movement, like you said. So, Jay, what are your feelings on this song here? What are your for this Everlasting Moor?
My feelings on the song, I don't know. It's good. This is how much I don't like. I love lyrics. I'm not a big lyrics guy. Like, meaning when I listen to a song, there's some people like, oh, I have to hear what's being said. It's like probably I like how it's said. What's being said is usually the last thing I come to, not by design, just how my brain works. So when I first heard it, I'm like, oh, this is really catchy. And I actually didn't know what was being said until I read the press release the first time, which was great because I didn't know Mikhail was actually saying gazebo because he says it like gazebo. And I was like, what? But it was even better that I didn't know because I'm really like, I love when I listen to a song and I think I know what it sounds like, and it's like completely way off from what's being written. But it's the phrasing which makes it catchy. So to me, if I want to listen to I'll listen to Leonard Cohen or like if I want a story kind of thing. But with most songs, it's like I just want to hear the phrasing, and then when you go back to it, it's like, oh, these lyrics are really great, and so that was my thing. And Mikhail's always been really good at like phrasing. And
it works really well with us because what we have is a combination of the absolutely banging instrumentals and also the genius of Leonard Cohen in the lyrics.
So yeah, that's how we are. We're Leonard Cohen.
When you combine them, you get the total package.
It's like if Gordon Lightfoot, Gordon Lightfoot threw down. That's what we're about. The record, the Edmund Fitzgerald Pete Rock remix. That's our
wow. That's the next project right there. Perfect.
That's where it's at. I think that's the next wave in music right there.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, I want all checks made out to me for that.
I give all credit to Jay, but either way, I think it would sound good. I mean, I'm down for it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure it already exists. If you think of it, someone's already thought of it. So
somewhere. I mean, I've heard Chrono Trigger music mixed with Jay-Z before, so I mean, everything's out there, right?
Yeah, it's true. You got to know how to say the idea properly. That's it.
Exactly. All right. So you mentioned there that with everything that you started sort of as the live band, and then of course everything sort of shut down after you finally got to that stage. So I want to know, what has the return to live sort of been like since you guys had that opportunity briefly there in 2021?
Our one show, which then added to the 2 shows we've played.
So we played one show and we didn't start off as a live band. We started off as just me and Jay doing studio stuff. So when Bad Boys of Comedy, our first record, came out, we did one show by that point. Then that was in February 2020. Then in March, the pandemic hit. And then we came back with a show last year, 2021, in November. And we were supposed to have a show next Saturday. So we would have had 3 shows, and we had 2 shows. And then this show coming up, I don't know when it's going to be rescheduled to, but yeah, we only played twice so far as a band.
So that's still new and exciting, our live presentation, you know? So it's kind of the opposite. It's like, I feel like we're like a major label band that's been assembled, and now we have to figure out, like, you know, we're like a pop act. Now we got to figure out how to do our live show properly.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's been good. It's like, it's fun. It's like, it's actually kind of fun that we haven't even really scraped the surface, even though we'll now have put out 3 records. We have like, and I think our live show is good, and it's only going to get better. So it's actually been kind of fun that like we haven't even, it's still.
There's a lot of choreography too happening.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of synchronized dance steps. We get out of breath really quickly. It's probably
That's
12
why you
minutes.
lip sync. That's what all the pros do. They don't sing live. That's why. that's what's going to happen.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
You guys just do we're going to play our full record this show. Drop the needle.
Oh, like, and then walk away, just have this. Oh, okay. I thought like we just like play the record, and then like the stage is just.
That'd be even better.
We're going to play. I know someone who actually, I will talk about, there's someone did that as a guide, and it was like one of the greatest things I've ever heard. It's like, we're going to play John Coltrane's Live in Seattle. And then this group, the Sun City Girls, did it. And then they had a record player on stage, and they literally had the John Coltrane, thinking that they were going to do an interpretation of it. And then they just played John Coltrane's Live in Seattle on stage with it, which I thought was like the best move of all time.
That's pretty much A+. What else? What do you follow it with?
No, nothing. I think there's no more live music after it. What it's all been done after that.
Question for you, Jay. Did they have to come back on stage and flip it on side B?
Yeah, I think that did happen. I think people, I don't know the whole, I mean, I'm paraphrasing. I just heard that they had pulled this as a move once live, and I was like,
my goodness.
Incredible. Anyways, but yeah, we're excited to play live again. And again, like, it's something that I don't think we have a great band, Matt Aldred and Scott Hannigan, and we're going to be adding some more members, so the sonic presentation will be bigger. It's just kind of fun that we haven't even, because of the stop and starting of the pandemic, we haven't even really gotten into we have a show mode, but I know where it can go. So that's even more exciting. Like, on top of making records, it's like, oh, there's just going to be this other thing that's there. So be good.
Nice. So once that fully comes to form, you guys are going to be ready to go. High kicks, all of the ooh and sync and everything, and it's going to be a time.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, I have had a time. I have had a blast diving behind this upcoming EP with Stars We Lost. This is a new song with Everlasting Moor, and I want to thank both you, Jay, and Mikhail for joining us here today on the Desert Tiger podcast.
Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time.